There we go. Now you guys can hear me. Oh my god. Okay. My campaign is going like RB Leipzig's campaign in the Champions League right now. Now you guys can hear me, right? I think you guys can hear me. There we go. Welcome to the Michael Talks Football channel. We are moving on a budget at the moment, and now we're going to review the match day 8 for the Champions League, where we saw Sporting score a last-minute goal to save their asses. Dinamo Zagreb going out with a fight though. And Milan, we're going to talk about Milan. Juventus, another horrendous performance. Manchester City surviving. Ousmane Dembele, hat-trick. Hat-trick for Dembele. Incredible. And Lille absolutely mollywop Feyenoord 6-1. And then at the end of the video, we're going to look at the playoff round. We're going to look at the possible ties that will be happening in the knockout playoff round and the route that all the teams can be having heading into the knockout stages of the Champions League. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, people. And in the chat right now, did you like the league phase of the Champions League? What are some good points? What are some bad points? Do you think it was fair? Do you think it's still a competitiveness that UEFA were promising us? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below because I've seen this rhetoric everywhere. Oh my God, Man City, they beat 3 teams and they're still in the knockout round. Okay, you know what their punishment is? Well, we'll see who their opponents will be in the knockout round. Yeah, they're going to be punished for only beating Sparta Praha, Slovan Bratislava, and Club Brugge. So maybe it's fair, maybe it's not, but we'll see at the end of the video the possible opponents. Let's get now. Shout out Jeff. Thank you for the kind donation, Jeff. Really appreciate it. It says, Brest has been exposed, but soon will grow big. Well, I think they only got some implants size A, size B. They didn't get the double Ds though. What if they made it to the double Ds? Then the Stade Brestois would have had double D implants. But heck, they still made it to the knockout. The fact that Stade Brestois are still in this competition is a minor miracle. And they actually played a decent game yesterday against Real Madrid. Big up to Martin, big up to Flaco, big up to Abracadabra, big up to Mayhem, big up to Curtis, big up to everybody in the chat. And yes, get your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to hit the like button right now in the stream if you're live with me, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Yes, we'll talk about this. Big up to Gazman as well, and we'll talk about league phase is only good, only nostalgia merchants say otherwise. Of course, look, before we go into the games, and obviously people, with the review, I didn't get to watch a lot of the games because obviously it was 18 at the same time. So a lot of the reviews will be based on highlights. So apologies for that. I'm trying to do my best, as you guys know. Hey, look, some people only talk about Arsenal. Some people only talk about Premier League. Some people only talk about Real Madrid. I'm trying to talk about all the teams. So trying to give my best analysis for this match day. But when it comes to this new league phase, I enjoy it. Look, I'm a huge person that hates on UEFA. They are a mafia company in disguise. They are, right? If UEFA offered me a job, I'll be like, you want to fix that first? Do you want to actually tackle racism in football? We'll see if they do that. But I'll give this to UEFA. They've actually done a good thing here. One is the Conference League. I think Conference League is actually a very good thing for European football. And this league phase. Why is the league phase good? Because it gives opportunity for the smaller teams. You look, okay, I'm not calling Celtic a small team or Club Brugge a small team, but they're now in the knockout round. They have an opportunity. They make more money for their respective clubs. And we see top matches every single week. Did people not watch the Barcelona-Atalanta game last night? That was a fantastic game. Did people not watch the Stuttgart and PSG? Look, Stuttgart played good football, but they got annihilated, but it was still a good matchup. So yes, it's nostalgia merchants who want to just see Man City destroy Shakhtar Donetsk or Liverpool destroy, well, I would say Basel, but Basel did beat us in that one Champions League season. So yes, you're going to have people that love it. You're going to have people that hate it. Look, it's going to take a while for maybe people to be very encouraged by this new league phase. But hey, as a person who hates on UEFA, I say they did a good thing. The only thing I would have changed is 32 teams and then the top 16 progress. That would have been scintillating to watch. But obviously, they got to get all the teams involved. They got to make sure that PSG, Manchester City, and these sort of teams qualify. But let's get straight into the analysis, people. Thank you all for tuning in. Most important thing is you hit the like button, and big up to Jeff for the kind donation already. So, there's not going to be great analysis, and I apologize for that, people. But Bayern Munich 3-1 against Slovan Bratislava. I mean, I thought it was going to be 7-0. I thought they were going to score a touchdown. I don't know if there was an NFL game this year in Munich. I don't think it was. I think it was in Frankfurt. But realistically, people, do we think Bayern Munich can win the Champions League? I would say they're top 6, top 7 sort of favorites in that range, because while Bayern have a lot of good players, from Olise to Kimmich to Musiala to Kim Min-jae to Upamecano, they don't have a lot of variety with their goals. It's heavily reliant on Kane, you get the goals, or Musiala creates some magic, or Olise creates some magic. I think that's majority where their goals come from. And then what about the situation with Matthias Tell? Matthias Tell looks like he's going to move on. It wasn't the greatest of signings. I don't think he's actually had a great impact on Bayern Munich. Very talented player, but if he goes to a Tottenham, I mean, his career will not really take it to the next level. What realistically Bayern Munich should be doing is going to get a left winger. They should have been all over Kvara. If Bayern Munich were serious about winning titles and not just being a profit organization at the moment, they go get Kvara. They do. Then you have Kvara, Musiala, Olise, and Kane. That is a formidable attack. Okay, you're going to try Gnabry. You're going to try Leroy Sané. You're going to try all sorts of different ideas to get this attack going. And I think the midfield is good with Pavlovic and Kimmich. Fullbacks could be a little bit better, definitely down the right side. I don't think, look, some people saying Kompany is actually horrible. I mean, was he sufficiently backed in the summer, though? Was he? Okay, he got Olise. Good. We know Bayern Munich needed somebody to replace Leroy Sané. Leroy Sané consistently misses the big chances. So, I think, look, it's 3-1 against Slovan Bratislava. Of course you're going to beat Bratislava, because they are one of only 2 teams that went 008. They didn't go James Bond settings. They went even worse. What sort of settings is that? I don't know. Terrible settings, because to go 0 points, 0 wins, and 0 draws. I knew Slovan Bratislava were going to be the worst team, but damn, 0 points. And they had Dinamo Zagreb at home as well. I think they got destroyed. Was it 4-1 or 5-1? So, look, they were just there for the vibes. They were there to collect stamps on their passport. And unfortunately for them, they kept the 0-0. But I think for Bayern Munich, I don't think they're going to do any January transfer window business. So it's going to be like, okay, here's your team. Are they just solely focusing on getting back their Bundesliga title, getting that heavyweight belt, and then maybe in the future, this summer coming up, they'll go then buy a really good attacker. Maybe that's what they do, and a right back, because obviously they're going to do the contract extension with Alphonso Davies. But yeah, look, overall, Bayern Munich still a very decent, I would say a very good team. It's just about, can you really trust them? Because they have been destroyed by Feyenoord. They've been destroyed by Barcelona away from home. Away from home, Bayern are not that great. At home, okay, cool. When they play that song when they're having the goal scoring, cool, that's fine. But Bayern, look, 3-1, easy dub. See, some people saying I don't trust Kompany. Is Kompany bad? I mean, do you think, you look at that squad of people, do you say, yeah, Bayern Munich should be winning everything? Should they be winning everything? Realistically, when you compare this Bayern Munich team to the one that won in the COVID times, that COVID team would wipe the floor with this side. You had a Kingsley Coman who was absolutely delightful. You had other good players. A better Neuer, even though Neuer made a ridiculous save yesterday. So I think Kompany is he's just a target man. Everybody wants to target him because, he did terrible at Burnley. Well, realistically, this team on paper is not the best Bayern we have seen. It just isn't. Bayern need to sort out Kimmich and Davis' contract. I think they're going to get... I think Davis is done, isn't it? I think Davis is done. Big up Slavic Gladiator. Big up to Empty. Maybe a center back. Yeah, possibly. Big up to GGM says, Kompany is being scapegoated. He's done well for most parts. Injuries, inconsistent. Yeah, exactly. They had a lot of injuries. Oh, well, then you're just going to get 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. No, Kane wasn't worth the price they paid. They needed someone else. Okay. Who should have Bayern gone for then? If you're not going to get... Harry Kane was 30 years old at the time. An established goal-scoring machine. Who else are you going to get? Please tell me. Really. To replace Lewandowski, go get a guy who's probably going to be better for many years to come. You get Harry Kane, of course. Flick got forced out because he complained about not retaining talent. I think that's the issue, though. This Bayern hierarchy, they're just going for these talents. You see, like Saragossa, who they signed from Oh my God, what team was it? Was it Almeria? No, it wasn't Almeria. Oh my God, what team was it in Spain? Anyway, Zaragoza to Sasha Bowie to Matthias Tell. They're not buying these established stars. Paulinho, who they signed from Fulham, has been injured and not great. So you got to look at more at the talent that the recruitment are actually making. Granada, thank you, that's it, Granada. Bayern can't finish. They should have scored 7 goals yesterday. Yep, Leroy Sané missed a couple of good chances. Bayern are definitely not a title contender for this year's UCL, and companies Bayern give me PSG, Juventus vibes. They always have the ball, but it's pointless because they can't create the chances. I actually think they're creating the chances. They just can't finish. Realistically, look at Leroy Sané yesterday. 2 goals he should have had. 2! And he got you 0. Big up YG, how you doing? All right, let's move on, people. That was a bit too long on Bayern Munich. Dortmund, 3-1 over Shakhtar. Kobel trying to do some... The goal that Shakhtar scored, by the way, if you haven't seen it, people, I mean, Kobel, I don't know what he's doing on the ball. Just clear your lines. Clear it. So, Borussia Dortmund, Girassi, I think that was his first open play goal in a couple months, isn't it? I think I'm correct on that. I'm pretty sure, because he's mostly just scored penalties since November. I think that's his first open play goal. The second goal, nice finish. And yeah, it was their first win in 2025. But then there's news today, or it might have been happening last night, that Niko Kovac is going to be... Niko Kovac, people. Niko Kovac is going to be the new Dortmund manager. Just...
That is blasphemous!
Okay. Right. Not too much on this game. Look, Dortmund played decently well. They created a lot of good chances, even though Kevin, the Brazilian player on Shakhtar, that's a name to watch out, people. I think he's the record signing for 12 million. Baller. Absolute baller. He's definitely to watch, and obviously Sudakov. But, yep, Shakhtar are out of the competition. Dortmund. Niko Kovac. Are they going to do anything in the Champions League? No. Niko Kovac is horrendous. Yes, he did unbelievable with Eintracht Frankfurt. They won the DFB Pokal. Goes to Bayern Munich. Okay, cool, you win the league. And then what does he happen a couple of years later? He gets annihilated by Frankfurt. What was it, 5-1, 6-1? Got sacked. Oh, good. Guess who took over, people? Hansi Flick. Then he won the Sextuple. Then he goes to Monaco. Was it Monaco? Yeah, Monaco. Gets sacked there. Goes to Wolfsburg. Gets sacked there. And now you're going to go... How do you keep getting... This is like Rudy Garcia, right? Rudy Garcia gets sacked at... I think he might have sacked or resigned at Lyon. Goes to Al-Nassr. Gets sacked there. And then he gets the Napoli job. Like, how? Why do these managers get these jobs? Look, 2026, the contract? Really? Come on, man. Come on. This Dortmund team as well. They're built so terribly. They're built on some prospects that could maybe flourish and we could sell them for 70 million, 60 million. Look, I love Girassi. I think Girassi is a quality striker. And Anton, the center back they signed from Stuttgart, I think he's a good center back. But the other signings have not been good. Felix Emecha, he's injured now for a couple months, if I'm not mistaken. So Dortmund, can they go far in this Champions League? I don't think they're going to do the same thing as last time around because... One, it was Juju, and also they had a decent team. You know, you still had experienced players like Mats Hummels, who was leading, Marco Reus, who was leading. I mean, the leader in this squad is Emre Can. That should tell you everything about this team. So, I do like Borussia Dortmund. I hope they do well, but I just think hiring Niko Kovac is just going down. You're going downhill. Maybe he will have a little bit of a boost with this team. Maybe he's learned his lessons from Wolfsburg to Monaco. Okay, how can I really set up the team well? But at the end of the day, he's not a manager where you're like, yep, he's really going to solve Dortmund's problems. No, Dortmund need more solidity in the midfield and defensively. Although, Giovanni Reina's assist yesterday to Benzabani for that goal, delightful. The no-look back heel from Giovanni Reina, ridiculous. So yeah, look, comfortable 3-1 win. Nothing much to talk about. It's just more about Niko Kovac as the new manager, which is just bizarre to me. Bizarre. Bayern need to get Gittins or Leao, in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. Leao. I would agree with Leao. Here we go. Ambry Sphere with the disrespect to Leao. Our first... Big up Juve Cornercast. Yeah, we'll talk about Juve in a second. Big up to you guys. Yep, Kovac till 2026. Yeah, I know. I cannot believe Rudy Garcia's manager. Honestly, manager appointments are all about connections and bias. There's a reason there's like one... That's true. Yeah. Who is the only one? Vincent Kompany. Is he the only one? There's none in the Premier League. Definitely not. Oh, no. Patrick Vieira. So there's 2. Ligue 1? What's the guy from Strasbourg? He was the whole city manager. Rosenier, or something like that. So there's a couple, at least, in the top 5 leagues. There's a couple. but hope he proves me wrong. The identity has been lost at Dortmund, in my opinion. Needs someone like Radnick to come in as, yes. But you know, Ralf Rangnick, he ain't leaving Austria because he's trying to get Austria back to the World Cup for the first time since 1998. But you need that sort of, just a guy who understands football seriously, like how to build a team perfectly. You need that. And Dortmund, it's just a friendship group. Here, you have the VIP ticket to the friendship group. That's the issue for Dortmund. And Dumfries is playing great. Yeah, we'll talk about Inter in a second. Oh, yep, Juve. Guys, and people watching on replay, I think I'm losing faith in Thiago Motta. I think I'm losing faith in Thiago Motta. Because what I saw at the beginning of the season was a team that was actually playing good football. Direct. You had the likes of Conceição playing really well, and Bangula to Yildiz. Vlahovic was scoring goals. We were like, oh my God, Vlahovic, he actually looks like a decent footballer now. Yeah, he was getting goals at Fiorentina, but most of them were just one-time finishes, right? In the box, very lethal player. But all of a sudden, like the last 2 months, 3 months, Juve are boring. They're actually so boring to watch. They just do the boomerang. All right, switch it to the left, switch it to the right. Switch it to the left, switch it to the right. There's no actual directness on this team. It's just too passive. That's the word for Juve. It's not Draventis. It's passiveness. It's passiveness right now with this side. And you lose to Benfica. Now, credit to Benfica, because I thought they were going to lose this game or at least get a point. And there's just so much noise in the background with Benfica, with Bruno Lage to Rui Costa, like Bruno Lage coming out after the last game. How can you go from losing to Casapia and then going away to Turin and winning 2-0? Now, Trubin made a couple of brilliant saves in the game. Pavlidis, who I don't think he's been good. Somebody in the comment section a couple of videos ago said, Michael, you're wrong about Pavlidis. He's been good. Please tell me if I'm wrong, because what I've seen from Pavlidis is a striker that misses a lot of chances. And he missed a great chance in this game, by the way. He missed a great chance from Arsenis laying it off to him, and he should have buried it. So Benfica had a lot of good chances, especially in the first half. That touch from Alexander Ba to take it down and play it into Pavlidis, sensational. And obviously, Kochko then gets the winner. And Trubin obviously made incredible saves. But all the Juventus attacks, the time they actually look dangerous, crosses into the box. From the left, from the right. From the left, from the right, right? And of course, they have injuries. But you're like Giuntoli has actually built this squad horribly. Why on earth? Like I said this in my video when I talked about Juventus being an exciting team. Why on earth would you let Huijsen go? Why? Okay, yeah, he doesn't get enough game time. It's a long season. You have to balance out the Coppa Italia to Serie A, to the Champions League. Did Giuntoli not think? Like, this guy might be a fraud. He built all of these exciting teams at Napoli, right? You're getting a young player like Hamsik to Insigne, who they had on loan, then signed him permanently, to Lavezzi, to Cavani. They're getting all these players. Osimhen. Giuntoli built very good teams at Napoli. But this, right now, this is looking like the Fire Festival with how it's being built at Juventus. And Thiago Motta, look, I think he is a good manager. But now he needs to go away from possession, just keeping possession for the sake of it. You have to do something with the possession. Look, let me quickly show you how much possession Juve had yesterday. Because it was a lot, but they did nothing with it. Juventus had 66% ball possession. 66. Yet they did nothing with it. Nothing. I feel bad for Conceição. I think Conceição is a good player. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of the GA that people want to see, but he's taking on a man. But at the most times, it's like a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1, and Conceição is having to do, because he's not a big player, right? He's a very small stature with his height and his size. So he's very much physically bullied in the matches. We got to see more from Yildiz. Overall, this team is just constructed terribly. It doesn't fit well. Like yesterday, Weston McKennie was the left back, and Timothy Weah was the right back. And Douglas Luiz, I mean, the guy is just, give me the ball. I think he just went there for the girlfriend. If I'm going to be honest, I think Juventus just signed him because, oh, look, what's the girlfriend's name? Leishman from Switzerland. I don't think even know she's a good player. To be honest, I think she probably just gets signed by her looks and then, oh, look at the social medias go up. But they must have signed him because of that connection. Because when I actually watch Douglas Luiz play, it's very much just basic. Basic. Even Locatelli had to go to the center back yesterday. Locatelli. So this is the thing with this entire squad building. It's been terrible. And yeah, you're going to look at Thiago Motta and say, you have to be tactically better. Where is the fight? Where is the grinta? There is no grinta on this team. It's just flat soda. They don't have any fizz or anything. It's flat soda, and Juventus, they're in trouble, right? Not even just the Champions League, because they're not going to win the Champions League. I mean, if Juventus somehow won the Champions League, that would be a miracle. Ridiculously a miracle. And now obviously, they signed Kolo Muani, who they can bring into the squad for the later stages of the Champions League, to Renato Vega, who they signed from Chelsea. But I would expect a little bit better from Juventus. Now you need to be having more cojones in the transfer window and signing some established stars, like a center back. You need a center. You need to get some fullbacks into this team. Yes, of course, the likes of Cambiasso injured to Gabal injured. It's just sad. It really is. But for Benfica, what a win, because they're under all the turmoil to put up a performance like that, especially in the first half. Credit to them. And, you still have Seldrup. I honestly love Seldrup. Andres Seldrup is going to be a baller who they sell for 60 million maybe next year. Maybe not this summer, but next year, Seldrup is going to leave for big money, because he's a guy, kind of like Conceição, loves to take on defenders one-on-one situations, but actually beats them. With his skill, with his pace, very direct. Could do a little bit better with his finishing, especially with his left foot, but he's a very good player. Really, I thought Florentino yesterday was a baller. Florentino locked up the entire Juventus midfield yesterday, and they have some experience. They have the likes of Di Maria to Otamendi. This is the thing. Benfica have experience mixed in with the young talent. Now they just got to be more consistent with their performances, because it's way too the highs of being Juventus and playing really well against Barcelona to then bottling it versus Barcelona and losing to Casapia. They have the talent, Benfica. They just got to be more consistent. And yeah, Trubin, quality goalkeeper, man. Quality goalkeeper. What I saw last season from him, quality goalkeeper. And yeah, Benfica are, would I say, like a dangerous team in the Champions League? No. Can they make it to a quarterfinal? Depending on who they could face. We're obviously going to check that out later in the stream. But Benfica are a talented team. They just got to be more consistent. They got the talent. All right, let's see what you people say. I think a lot of people are hating on Juventus. Let's see what people are saying here. There's no leadership at Dortmund. Yep, agreed. Apparently, they're now negotiating with Xavi. Look, if Juventus sign Xavi, that's just going back to Allegri ball. It is. It's just going back to what you want to get away from. Yeah, it's sad to watch Juve like this, because I was actually excited. Like, oh, you bring in a new manager who wants to play good attacking football. But now it's not even attacking football. It's just, you're just trying to be Pep, but you don't have the players to do it. And you're just trying to rotate, keep the ball. It's terrible. My friend is a Juve fan, and I can't wait to mock him today. Easy on your friend. Are you aware of Benfica's record against Juventus? Yeah, I did see this. 7 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. Benfica is papa de Juventus. They are the daddy to Juventus at the moment, Benfica. Juve is so cheeks, yeah. As an Inter fan, I never expected these dudes to do too much. For me, they won't be ready to compete for a title for at least 2 seasons. And I did see a report that they're going to keep Motta even if they don't qualify for the Champions League. I think that's correct. You have to just, look, this squad is not ready to win a Champions League. It's not ready to win the Scudetto. It isn't, right? Motta is not a Conte. He doesn't have the will and the desire, and these players, there's no lead. Look, who was a leader on this team? Who was the captain yesterday for Juventus? Who was the captain? Let me quickly check that. The captain yesterday was Weston McKennie. Get out of here. Weston, look, I love Weston. I think he's really underrated, and he's doing a lot of work for Juve in the right back to left back he could probably play striker and do well. But Weston McKennie is not captain material for Juventus. Get out of here, man. Yeah, probably this is the striker that does everything right except finishing. The only scores with an open net. Exactly. Thank you very much. Motta from Bologna to Juventus is going about the same way as Xerxes from Bologna to United. Probably his finishing is not on point, but he does see space as well. He's good at getting in behind the back line. Yeah, look, off the ball, I'm cool. But at the end of the day, he's a striker. So I want Pavlidis to score goals. Okay, you're scoring all the goals for AZ Alkmaar. Why are you missing chances at Benfica? They're not like, oh my God, 0.03333 recurring XG. No, they're easy chances. Finish them, Pavlidis. Because I ain't trusting Arda Cabral. I'll tell you that right now. Getting rid of Chiesa made no sense considering they need extra depth. To be honest, I can see them moving on. He just can't stay fit. Pavlidis' ball control is so diabolical. I don't know how you train every day and are so bad on the ball. The way Goulet is being benched at Madrid, Juve should get an all-Turkish wing and see if that does anything. They should try that. They should. They sold Huijsen. They have no world-class players. I would agree. Facts Luis would do anything for the... Okay. Juve way better on the counter. Yes, I think that's what Thiago Motta has to do. Just play on the counter-attack. Just... When did they do that? They did it one game. Which game was it? Man City. Juventus just played on the counter-attack. And they looked phenomenal. Phenomenal. Defensively solid. Very good going forward. Just do that, Thiago Motta. Maybe we'll see it in the later stages of the Champions League if Juventus progress far and there'll be a counter-attacking team. But that's the way they should be playing. They have the players to do it. Not this possession. Okay, we're going to try and intricate play here, ones and twos, and getting behind the defense. No. Play on the counter-attack. And I think Vlahovic, by the way, he might be done at Juve. He might be done at Juve. Yes. I was scared that Conceição could send his rivals home when Carreras was suspended, but ball handed him pretty well. Juventus was pretty much a cross and pray. Someone heads it in. Yeah. Alexander Bado, I honestly, I love that player. I think he's an underrated fullback in Europe. And not just signing a striker whose career highlight is missing a World Cup winner. Nah, look, I actually like Colomoni. I think he was just done dirty at PSG. I just think Luis Enrique didn't like. I think Colomoni will actually do really well at Juventus. But what do you do with Vlahovic then? That's going to be the issue. Yeah, I did see that. Okay, but no way Atalanta scam Koopmeiners 660. But Atalanta scam everybody. Bro, they're just the con artist. They're the con artist. What's that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio where he's scamming all the people? What's that? And he's on the run all the time. Oh my God, why am I forgetting the name of the film? Oh man, I can't remember what it's called. Should they sell Vlahovic? Probably. I think they're going to get to that point. Breaking Morata's close to here we go to... Oh, please. Okay, we'll get to Milan. I'll talk about that when we get to Milan. So Manchester City, catch me if you can. That's it. Yeah, catch me if you can. Manchester City survived 3-1 against Club Brugge. I thought Club Brugge actually played really well in the first half. They were just solid defensively, good low block, very good on the counter-attack, especially with Jolis. Jolis is a baller, the Greek player. See, we're talking a lot about Greek players here. And then the second half happens, and obviously Onyedika with a ridiculous goal. Jutgla, the move that Jutgla did to send two Manchester City players back to elementary school to learn how to defend was sensational. And then Club Brugge just imploded. Because one, you cannot allow Mateo Kovacic to just walk into your own 18-yard box and have a free shot. That was poor from Club Brugge. Then it was the own goal from Ordonez, and then Savinho, he pretty much changed the game when he came on at halftime. But there was a chance for Jolis when it was 1-1. If he puts it on target, it goes in. And then it would have been 2-1 for Club Brugge with about, I think, 30 to 25 minutes left in the game. I still think Club Brugge are one of the most underrated teams in Europe. I think they give a good account of themselves, but they just don't have the quality off the bench to maintain that sort of form. Well, for Man City, yeah, look, they got the job done, but I wasn't impressed. And I'm not saying that because I'm a hater or anything or wishing bad. I'm just being honest. Like, you look at this Man City team, they're not winning the Champions League. Unless they sign a DM or some crazy right back out there, they're not winning the Champions League. Are you going to trust Matheus Nunes in the entire knockout stages of the Champions League against quality attacks in Europe? No, you're not. They will get cooked that way, Manchester City. But the thing for Man City is they got Husanov, and they got Marmoush, who they can register in the knockout stages. Could that fix their problems? No, most likely. I'm more intrigued to see what Pep is going to do now. Because you had Savinho. I think Savinho is a baller. Yeah, people were criticizing him. Where's your GA at the early stages of this season? I think the guy's a baller. What I saw from him at Girona last year, I was like, no. This guy is a Brazilian right here. He is Brasileiro. What does Pep do for the knockout stages, though, people? Do you bench KDB? Do you play maybe Foden in the 10, Savinho on the right, Marmoush on the left, and obviously Haaland up top? Could we see that for Manchester City? But then the midfield, you got to have some physicality. You got to have some athleticism. And you have the options of Gundogan, Kovacic, and Bernardo Silva. They're not going to be able to defend. The reason why Man City won the treble that season and won their first ever Champions League is because they had physical defenders and they were so solid defensively. They didn't give any team chances except for Lukaku in the Champions League final and Lautaro Martinez. That's what the Man City have to do. They just got to focus more on how they will defend in transition. If they can do that, their attack, of course, they got the weapons to threaten any team out there. But overall, Man City, I just don't... they got the win. They survived, but it's going to come at a cost because look who their opponents are going to be in the knockout stages of the Champions League, and we're going to preview that. So you survive, but at what cost, really? But Man City got the job done. I still think they were going to do it. I knew it was going to be a tough game, though, against Club Brugge because nobody's going to watch Club Brugge. All these puns on ESPN FC. Oh, who are these guys? Oh, my God. Who is Youth Club? Who is Zolis? Who is Van Aken? Who is Ordóñez? Oh, they know Mignolet, of course. But if you actually watch Club Brugge this season in the Champions League, they've beaten Aston Villa. They obviously lost to Dortmund, but Dortmund scored 3 goals in the last 20 minutes. They played a really good game against Milan, but, how much you want to take into account of Milan this season. So Club Brugge have been a very good team. They made it to the round of 16 of the Champions League 2 seasons ago. They made it to the semifinals of the Conference League. That's a team you still don't want to play. Yeah, they lost this game, but they give a good account of themselves. I'll give that to Club Brugge, no doubt about it. Givardio should be winger at this point. Great game by Kovacic and Savinho. Savinho completely changed the game for Man City. Maybe an unpopular opinion, but the day Silva gets permanently benched, City will start creating more chances. I swear Konate plays more through balls than this guy. Nah, look, Bernardo is Bernardo, man. He's just going to keep the ball and keep the ball. If only Club Brugge could finish their chances, they could have drawn or won the match. Yeah, but that's for any football game, really. Yeah, I knew this would happen after the late goal in the first half because Pep would be able to intervene. If it was at the start of the second half, won. Yeah, if Club Brugge maybe scored the goal, obviously their only goal of the game early on in the second half, they could have probably changed the game. Yeah. Because then you could have seen Man City really panicking. Club Brugge's only second time getting to the Champions League knockout stages. Yeah, man, they're a good team. Jasari was not on point in the games. Couple of small mistakes. Was his worst game this season. I think he's a baller though. Some of the stuff he was doing yesterday, empty. Off the ball and with the ball where he was progressing. And obviously Man City's midfield is not very good defensively at the moment, but I thought Jasari was a really exceptional player. I think he's going to be a good talent. 7 minutes ago, Morata to Galatasaray, almost done according to Fabrizio. Okay, I'll check that out when we get to there. Big up, Anthony. Every word you speak is done to perfection. It's so tough and chill. The way you emphasize moments from the match honestly inspires me to be a better man. Thank you very much for the kind comments, Anthony. Do I have a video here?
I love this game!
Careful with your ears. Big up, Anthony. Thank you for the kind comments. Now, look, people, I try and have good ball knowledge. I just don't want to be like, oh my God, look, this team got robbed. Oh my God, this guy's a fraud. I could come after this game and say, Matias Nunes is a fraud. Or I could say, Husanov over the weekend is a fraud. No, that's just way too... The only time I will get super reactionary is after a World Cup final or any international tournament final. Because that, for me, that's the pinnacle of football. That's the pinnacle, or Champions League final if you want to go there. So I just try and watch all of the games, try and keep up with everything in football, because everything outside of the Serie A, Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, there's so many good players in this world. But because we only sort of highlight the Premier League teams, the Barcelona, the Real Madrids, the Inters, these players and these teams don't get the notoriety that they deserve. That's my biggest thing. Obviously United, of course. As a Liverpool fan, I can't say anything else. Get whooped by Real Madrid, we'll talk about that every week. Playing good, they got unlucky in the final third. Unlucky, yeah, but they just didn't have the quality. They just were a little bit too rash with their decisions, especially Zolis. Zolis was like the first 2 minutes of the game. Cut back better. Nope. Big up, Warrior. How you doing? Haven't seen you for a while, Warrior. How you doing? City could start Haaland and Marmoush up top. KDB as the 10 with Savinho and Foden. Doku on either side and Kovacic behind. Sure, not the most defensively stable, but they create so much more. Okay, Fluke. They do that. They're going to have to outscore every opponent. When was the last time you saw... Okay, probably Real Madrid in 21-22 season, where they actually outscored every opponent and made it to the Champions League final and won it. That's the only time, really. Most of the time, the Champions League winners, defensively solid teams. Defensively solid. Actually, you could say Real Madrid last season too, but not so much. All right, let's move on. Man, we've only gone this far. Okay. Remember, everybody hit the like button if you haven't done so already. We got 56 of you watching. We only got 37 likes on YouTube. Come on, people. We can do a lot better. Remember to follow me on all the socials. You can find those links in the description down below. Remember to check out all the other playlists. We're going to have a lot of content in the next couple of weeks, especially on international football and the Champions League. And I'll be dropping some content about the Europa League as well. But PSG. Maybe they solved themselves, because something I've been saying a lot during the Champions League season so far is PSG can't finish their dinner. Breakfast, hors d'oeuvre, anything, dessert. They can't finish. But all of a sudden, 8 goals in 2 games. 8 goals. And Ousmane Dembele, a hat trick. A hat from this guy. A guy that we always ridicule and say, oh, Ousmane Dembele, he gets a chance. He's going to fluff his lines. Yada, yada, yada. He's not a good enough player. But heck, in this game, I gotta throw my hands up and say, the Ous is looking good. The quality of finishes he had in this game. His second goal, obviously the first one was a tap-in because Stuttgart were so naive defensively in this game, and their right back, I can't remember the right back's name. Let me quickly get it up here because he was getting, burnt for pace, like it's a burnout series against Barcola. He couldn't keep up. What was the right back's name? Vagnoman. Vagnoman? Bro, you need to get some high intensity training. You gotta get your speed up because he could not keep up with Speedy Barcola out there. And PSG were just phenomenal. The first half, PSG absolutely obliterated them with the ball movement from Vitinha to João Neves to the movement off the ball from Dembele to Barcola, and Pacho is a sensational center back. Now, do I still think PSG can win the Champions League? I'm kind of getting on board here, people. Now, look, we're going to look at their opponents possibly for the round of 16. It could get tough, but now they're going to register Kvara. They're going to register Kvara. Now, I'm intrigued to see what Luis Enrique is going to do. Is he going to play Kvara in the sort of false 9 role? Obviously, they're going to rotate a lot with Barcola, Dembele, and Kvara. I'm very intrigued, but they were unbelievable yesterday. They were unbelievable, I thought, against Man City, and they were unbelievable yesterday against Stuttgart. And Stuttgart, they just looked nervous. They looked like they had a panic attack out there. Look, they are a good team. I rate Sebastian Hoeneß highly. He should have really gone to Dortmund. That's the manager Dortmund needed. But yesterday, you could just see inexperienced team in this situation, whereas PSG looked like the experienced team. They didn't get flustered by the situation. Stuttgart had amazing tifo, all the fans behind them, but PSG showed up once again when their backs are against the wall and they look like they're going to crumble. They've shown up in the past 2 Champions League games, but they're still not the best team in the world. They're not the best team. Are they a top 5 favorite right now for the Champions League? No, but they could get there. But they're going to face some tough opponents if they want to win this Champions League. But heck, if Dembele can play, like, this is the thing. Nobody will dispute the talent of Ousmane Dembele. But one thing we've always said about him is he will miss the most easiest chances possible. When he's on a bad day, oh, it's really bad. And when it's on a good day, you're looking at a Ballon d'Or winner. That's like the the reality and unreality of Ousmane Dembele. Of course, he went for big money to Dortmund, to obviously Barcelona, and his talent wasn't really fulfilled. But if he can play like this, then you got to be careful. And Barcola on the other side, with Kvara, with João Neves, who's obviously always going to be a baller, to Vitinha. PSG got the weapons. Now they just got to show it every single game. I'm excited to see what they do in the knockout round because I think this is a team you don't want to play right now. Can you imagine though if we get a PSG Barcelona matchup and Dembele scores another hat trick against Barcelona? Oh, we will be there. We will be there for that. But gotta highlight, even though Pacho scored a own goal, the dude is phenomenal center back. That's the sort of scouting that PSG have sort of changed. They didn't go for the glamorous names. Okay, Skriniar, you didn't work out. Let's go get a young center back. The scouting for PSG has definitely improved in the last 2 to 3 years with, oh my God, what's the guy's name? The sporting director who used to be at Celta Vigo. Oh my God, Luis Ocampos. I think it's Ocampos. Luis Campos or Luis Ocampos. He's completely changed this team on, okay, let's go for these young stars, but they got massive potential. Like you look at João Neves, baller. Pacho, baller. Nuno Mendes, baller. So the strategy has definitely changed, and they look like a different team, PSG. But I wouldn't get super gassed yet on saying, yeah, they can win the Champions League. You can't say that yet because they got to go through a tough road to win this Champions League. Very tough road. It was on smoke, man. Absolute smoke. Hey, big up, Gab. Ciao, ciao. Yeah, we're going to talk about Milan, man. Bomba clot. Big up, Andresito. Big up, Andresito. Watch out, Daniel Mandini to Atalanta. Wait, is that cannot be confirmed. Is he going to Atalanta? Oh my God, he's about to turn into a baller. Oh my God. PSG raised their game in the past two matches. Yep, they decided to find their goal boots in the final two games. Exactly. And credit to PSG. They by far had the toughest schedule. Toughest schedule of any team in the Champions League. And yeah, they kind of struggled in times, but they got the job done. Well, they do have Gonzalo Ramos, and I think Luis Enrique, he doesn't want to play with a natural striker. That's the thing as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Just hope PSG Dembele does not log in on Fortnite. I thought he only shows up versus Barca Fairs. Yeah, he showed up against Man City. He showed up against Stuttgart yesterday. Sebastian Hoeneß is already on a pre-contract at Bayern. Dembele always had the talent, but he lacks football IQ. Agreed. Really close. Luis Campos took a superstar from each of the big three in Portugal. He knows his country. Who did he take from? Oh, yeah, Nuno Mendes. I was like, who did he take from Sporting? Problem with finishing 15 to 18, as if you get the round of 16, you're up against the top two opponent. And yeah, I did see that. And no, I will not be live tomorrow. I'm going to try not watch. I'm not going to watch the draw, and I'm just going to do a blind reaction to the draw tomorrow. So yeah, Sporting survived against Bologna 1-1. There was no Gyökeres. I was shocked. He was injured. And I was like, oh, please, please, please. Sporting, you were in the top three position. Remember, after I think it was 3 or 4 Champions League match days, Sporting were in the top three. And now they finished 23rd or 24th. I think it was 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Or they might have been the last team to qualify. No, it was Club Brugge. Sporting narrowly missed out on this Champions League. But Harder, the other Scandinavian striker who they signed, who looks a really good player. Off the bench, he scored a couple of crucial goals for Sporting this season. Comes clutch, and they needed it. I only got to see the highlights and like the last 10 to 5 minutes of the game, so I can't give like a full analysis of the matchup. But this is a massive moment because that would have been, I think, disappointing. Sporting were playing brilliant football the first 3 match days. I was like, oh my God. Obviously, Amorim left, and I'm like, oh man, it's done. This project is done. But heck, they made it through. So that's the biggest thing. Do I still think they're like a dark horse? Not anymore. No. Once Amorim left, dark horse tag is over. Now, I think all Sporting they want to do is just capture the back-to-back Liga Portugal titles, which they haven't done for a very long time, if memory serves me right. So, yeah, they got the crucial goal. It was a little bit of a kind of chaotic goal. It kind of goes off the goalkeeper. Then it goes off Harder's knee or shin, goes into the back of the net. So you're not going to really complain. And for Bologna, they bounced back well. But the thing for Bologna is, had they not struggled in the first couple match days, especially against Shakhtar, where they should have really won the game, hey, Bologna would have been maybe in the knockout round. And they've improved a lot under Vincenzo Italiano the last couple of games. But yeah, this game, I can't really say much. Didn't really get to check out the highlights either. Was a little bit busy today. But most important is, I'm just happy for Sporting because they really deserve to be in the knockout round. They really do. They deserve it more than another teams, in my humble opinion. Just my humble opinion. Just that game against RB Leipzig, I was still so pissed off about. But Harder, now you get Gyökeres. Obviously, this will most likely be the last 6 months of Gyökeres at Sporting. Let's see what he does against the elite competition in Europe. Let's see what you guys are saying. I believe that PSG will now beat Brest or Monaco, and I believe that they can beat... Yeah, we'll talk about it. Big up to Celtic, underrated, might do something. They barely made it. Yep, just needed to go out that little bit. At the beginning of the UCL season, change of coach and lots of injuries. It has been very hard for them. Yeah, it has been very difficult for Sporting. Yeah, they were looking like it. Yeah, we'll talk about Dinamo in a second. So, Aston Villa 4, Celtic 2. I'm wearing the Colombia shirt because what do you people think? Before we talk about the game, Yon Duran is going to Al Nassr for 77 million euros. I repeat, 77. I mean, if the market isn't broken, it's just obliterated. It's basically just a nuke has hit the entire transfer. Like, look, Yon Duran is a very talented player. He hasn't had a lot of minutes off the bench. He hasn't had a lot of minutes in his career. And Al Nassr are paying 77. Aston Villa just said, hey, bro, Al Nassr, you want the player? Here, 77 million right there. Now, for Yon Duran, is it a good move? Of course, you're going to Saudi Arabia. People will mock it and say, oh, look, the Saudi League. But at the end of the day, people, it's a job for some of these players. Some of these players don't come from the greatest of backgrounds, right? So some of them have worked tirelessly, not even just in their professional career, But in their youth career, I think I was reading somewhere that Duran was 11 years old and he had to leave like his parents to go pursue a professional career. So all this hard work he has done, and now he's going to get the move to Saudi Arabia and basically secure like generational funds for his family. Like that's like probably for him, it's the pinnacle moment. It's the pinnacle moment. And you go to Al Nassr. Now look, I don't follow the Saudi league, but I will respect the Saudi league because they have some decent players. Obviously Mitrovic, Milinkovic, Savic, and obviously at Al Nassr, you're at with Ronaldo. So Yon Duran, I just hope and I pray, especially for the Colombian national team, is that he gets the mentality right. If you look at Ronaldo, the one thing you can always say about Cristiano, mentality. He always showed it every single game. Let's see if Yon Duran can do that. But I wonder how it's going to work out with the Colombian national team because they desperately need him. Now on this game, Aston Villa and Rodgers, hat-trick, great, some phenomenal goals. Obviously, the 2 goals in the first 5 minutes in Aston Villa were cooking. And then Celtic said, oh, no, we're here to play football. Because Ida, who they obviously, Furuhashi got sold to Stade Rennais, and Stade Rennais are disgraced themselves. Ida looked good. I think it was the second goal where they really had some good combination play, Celtic. Looking good. And then Watkins shows up, even though there's the rumors of Watkins going to Arsenal, which I don't think will now happen. I mean, if Aston Villa, if they sell both Duran and Watkins, a civil war. Basically a civil war in Birmingham at that point, because why on earth would you sell your 2 strikers? Why? That would be just stupidity. And I would honestly riot if I was an Aston Villa fan if that happened. But Morgan Rodgers, one of 3 players to score a hat-trick yesterday in the Champions League final match day, and they make it into the top 8. Look, do Aston Villa, do they have a chance of winning the Champions League? No. I'm intrigued, though, to see what do they do now. Because now they got money, they got the funds. Obviously, they've been dealing with PSR. For the last, I think it was this window, they had to deal with PSR. So they got some cash. Don't tell me, if you're Villa, don't go to Felix. Don't do it. Don't listen to George Mendes and sign the player, because that would be a criminal offense. Felix is not going to solve your situation. What Villa really need is some more pace and behind. Leon Bailey struggling this season. Can you trust Daniel Malin? Personally, I'm watching him at Dortmund. Not the guy. Sometimes can be a good impact sub, but Villa need another forward with pace and directness. Now, who could that player be? In all honesty, I think if you sign Zolis from Club Brugge, I think that would be a good deal. I think that would be a very good deal for Aston Villa. So overall, look, Celtic, incredible that they made it to the knockout rounds. Very happy for Brendan Rodgers. Intrigued to see what they do because, look, Ida is a decent player. He had a bit of a struggle at Norwich City. Didn't really get the opportunities that he liked because obviously there was Temo Pukki there. So Ida's a good player. And Celtic plays some good football. And Schmeichel made some incredible saves yesterday, by the way. Look, Schmeichel might be 38 years old and heading to the retirement home, but he was making phenomenal saves and really keeping Celtic into the game until Watkins and Rodgers secured the hat-trick. And Celtic, do they have a chance? I mean, look at their opponents, people. Celtic could be playing either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Now, it's going to be a wonderful... That atmosphere at Celtic Park, when one of those two teams goes to play there, they are going to feel the wrath of Celtic Park. The atmosphere... Remember, Celtic have a habit this century. I think they've been Manchester United at Celtic Park to Barcelona, the famous result. So they can do it, but away from home... I think it's going to be really difficult. I mean, Schmeichel will have to turn into prime Yashin, Neuer, Oliver Kahn, all in one game for Celtic to really have a chance of going far in this competition. But the best thing for them is, I think it's the first time in over a decade that Celtic progressed to a knockout rounds of the Champions League. Very happy for them. And yeah, look, Aston Villa, can they make it to a quarterfinal? I think so. But winning it, that would be crazy. If Aston Villa won the Champions League, that would be crazy. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Yep, go get the bag. Duran is going to get the bag. Look, man, can you hate? Can you honestly hate at the player getting the bag? See, people like to be hypocritical. Oh my God, he's leaving for money. Wouldn't you do the same thing? Wouldn't you? Look at the background of Duran. Wouldn't you do the same thing? I'll tell you, Saudi Arabia or any sort of country, if they offer me, Michael, there's 10 million for your channel. Sorry, guys. Adios. Are you going to blame me? Maybe I'll announce it on social medias. Of course I'll take. That is life-changing money. All tax-free, by the way. That's craziness. Big up. Thank you very much, Indif. I love your content. When are you going to talk about UEL? Europa League, by the way. I'll probably talk about it next week because it is wide open. I honestly have no clue who's going to... So I'm probably going to do like a tier list of who I think can win the Europa League. I haven't been able to watch a lot of the games, so I'll be keeping up with it tonight. But yeah, I'll be talking about it. Thank you very much for the kind comments. But Dams for 10 million, who could even sign on a pre-contract is crazy. He deserves it. Yeah. Unai Emery is dangerous in knockout stages, 100%. One summary of this game, Morgan Rogers is a baller. We already knew that. Only Watkins leaves is if my team Arsenal pays a stupid fee. Okay, if Arsenal come with a 70 million euro bid, do you think Villa take it for Watkins? Oh my God. Can you imagine they get 144 million for Watkins and Duran? Oh my God. Is he? We'll find out. Malik Fofana, yeah, that's a good job. Big up, Jamie. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well, Jamie. Yeah, that was a terrible miss. He slipped and missed the penalty. Yeah. Liverpool could have a nice route to the semifinals. Villa possibly round of 16 opponents looks great. And Saudi League copying China with their league, but better. I would agree. They're kind of copying, but I like that they're going for more younger talents, the Saudi Arabian League. Lille. This might be the biggest shock. Easily the biggest shock for me in the Champions League this season. Lille finished in 7th place, people. First off, round of applause. I mean, what they have just done. And they've beaten Atletico. They've beaten Real Madrid. They drew with Juventus, which is not a shock. They gave a good game to Liverpool, even though they were down to 10 men and only lost 2-1. And they destroyed, annihilated Feyenoord. 6-1. And Jonathan David didn't even start this game. And Zagreb is still injured. I don't think people understand this. Lille have been decimated by injuries. All season decimated by injuries. But yet they persevere. They still go at teams. And they play some actually... Once they smelled blood, oh my God, they were great white sharks. Bull sharks, tiger sharks, all the sharks in the world going after Feyenoord. And, I mean, Feyenoord's defending was terrible. Obviously, Bilio had to come off the field. Santi Jimenez came off injured as well, just for Milan fans to know he came off injured. So yeah, they were missing some key players. But that's no excuse, Feyenoord and Priske. I told you, this team, they will concede goals and they will score goals. And yesterday, they got the one goal from the set piece. And other than that, this was 100% Lille's game. Lille were... I cannot believe how well they played. Some of the players they got, it's like a very interesting team. Lille are like some young ballers mixed with the experienced players like Munir to Cabela. Very experienced team. The one thing I got to say, though, is Chevalier is still an awesome goalkeeper. And why does no team want Jonathan David? I don't understand. This guy has scored 6 goals this season in the Champions League. He has scored, I think, 1 or 2 against Atletico. He has scored against Real Madrid, scored against Juventus, scored again yesterday against Feyenoord off the bench. Jonathan David is an unbelievable striker. Look at the calmness he had yesterday. Okay, hesitate. Take it on the left foot, curling bottom left corner. And yet, he's going to be a free agent this summer. Juventus, you should be all over Jonathan David. This is the sort of player you need. I think Jonathan David is a great player. And Leo too. You know, we always get these sort of shocks in the Champions League. Remember when Apoel, the Cypriot club, made it to the quarterfinal about 12, 13 years ago? Basel made it to the round of 16. Obviously, Shakhtar has made it countless times to the quarterfinals. You're always going to get a shock. Are Lille going to be the shock and make it to the quarterfinal? That would be insane. Honestly, they were on a long unbeaten streak until they lost to Liverpool, and then they lost to, I think it was Strasbourg over the weekend. So the fact that, by the way, Gomez in the midfield, baller. I think he has made his debut for England, if I'm not mistaken. He's a baller. So Lille got some good talent, but Feyenoord yesterday, I mean, some of the defending was an atrocity. And I can see why, you know, Feyenoord, maybe they were thinking of sacking Priske, but I mean, what can you do with this? What can you do? Like, there's some of the defending. Bilio goes down injured. Santi goes down injured. What can you realistically do if you're Priske? And yeah, they're such a bipolar team. Feyenoord are the bipolar team of this Champions League. Going to play great football, come back against Man City, beat, obviously, Bayern Munich, and then just get annihilated by Bayer Leverkusen, losing to RB Salzburg, losing to Lille. Very bipolar team. While for Lille, danger side. And Haraldson as well, the Icelandic baller. I just want to see one game where we see Haraldson, Shegrova, and Jonathan David. Money. Absolutely money. And kudos to them, man. To finish 7th place with all the injuries is unreal. Yeah, Sauri looks like a ball. He's a baller. Europa League matches today, and I don't see any review video on your channel. Please talk at least. I'll try. I will try my best. The Feyenoord coach should get sacked. Maybe Priske. Did you see Lille and Aston Villa look at the table, refreshing the page to see if they made it? Yeah, I will check that. Isn't he free this summer? Yeah, he is free. Gala would buy Jonathan David if they can't buy Osimhen. Yeah, Leo has 6 injuries. They got a lot of injuries. Big up, Jazzy. How are you doing? Something was seen after the game in crutches. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, he ain't going to Milan then. What happened with him? Did he have an ankle or couldn't see? Ah, right. Bayer Leverkusen 2-0. Not much to say. Florian Wirtz is a baller. Still a dangerous team. Defensively, a liability. Sparta Praha had 2 or 3 chances early on in the second half. And yeah, Nathan Teller gets the goal. What more do you want me to say about Bayer Leverkusen? We know they're a good team. Sparta Praha, I mean, they have fallen off a cliff after the first 2 games when they had 4 points where they destroyed RB Salzburg and they they got a draw away to Stuttgart. Ever since then, fallen off a cliff, Sparta Praha. Do I think Bayer Leverkusen can go far in this Champions League? Well, you're going to see who their possible round of 16 opponents are. So I don't see them going far, but Wirtz, man. Wirtz. This guy, he's world class. I don't like to throw that word out a lot because I think it's used way too much in football, but Florian Wirtz is world class. Not from just this game, what he has shown in the last 2 years since his injury from the ACL. Florian Wirtz is that guy. And it's interesting that Victor Boniface is going to stay. Could that be a good help for this team? You know, Schick has been scoring a lot of goals, but maybe Schick will go back to his normal self and be just an impact sub, and Victor Boniface will go into the starting 11. Who knows? But Bayer Leverkusen still are a very dangerous team. You don't want to play this team in the knockout stage. You don't, because they got the weapons. They got obviously Frimpong to Grimaldo set pieces to Florian Wirtz, Granit Xhaka leading the midfield. I think that game against Atletico, they just got drawn into Atleti's hands. Where normally, look at the game against Inter. They destroyed Inter. Yeah, it was only 1-0. They destroyed them. So just shows you the capabilities of this side, and easily done against Sparta Praha. Easily. Wirtz is a baller, man. He's such a baller. He's so good. So PSV beat Liverpool 3-2. Liverpool playing a bunch of kids, basically a C team if you want to go in that route. Chiesa starting. Good to see Chiesa. Really good movement off the ball, with the ball. And yeah, PSV, I did predict it would be 3-2 PSV. I predicted it on another channel where I said, yeah, PSV were going to win 3-2, and look what happened. 3-2 it ended. My new name is Michael Talks the Future. Bakayoko, though. Bakayoko, that goal he scored where he sent 2, I think it was Shimikas and Kwanzaa. That move by Bakayoko to send both of those players to the store, cut it back onto his right foot. Incredible goal by Bakayoko. Ricardo Pepi scoring. Obviously, he got his goal. He got an assist in the game. Happy for Ricardo Pepi. Apparently, there was West Ham were trying to sign Ricardo Pepi. I was like, don't go there, Ricardo. don't go to West Ham, even though maybe with Graham Potter it could be good. PSV, they're gonna have to outscore opponents. I always say this about PSV and Peter Boschball. They're gonna concede chances. They're gonna concede goals, but they will score a lot of goals. Now, we're going to see who their possible knockout stage opponents could be, but if PSV lost this game or draw this game to a Liverpool side that had McConnell, to Dans, to Robertson playing center back, I mean, that would have been bad. It would have been bad, in my opinion, on PSV, because they are a very good home team. I think it's a side you don't really want to face in the knockout stage, because they have the weapons from Saibari to Bakayoko, Noah Lang, Luke de Jong, Gustil, Ricardo Pepi, a lot of dangerous players, but they got to be better defensively. I know they are naive and it's Peter Bosch tactics. It's got to be a little bit better. Obviously, Flamingo got the red card, so I think he's going to miss the next 2 matches. Maybe he misses the knockout stage. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, people. But yeah, PSV get the win, 3-2. Very exciting first half. Second half was kind of dead. It was really dead game. Really dead game. Big up Trevor. Big up to you, Trevor. Says, could you imagine if Bayern Munich get through to the round of 16 and then get drawn against Bayer Leverkusen? There are several chances of derbies in the knockouts, but this one would be due. Oh, yeah. If we get a Bayer Leverkusen Bayern Munich game, that would be tasty. Very tasty. Although, yeah, we'll talk about the possible derbies. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you for your kind comments. Big up to Pepe. Yes, we'll talk about Dinamo Zagreb. Michael, what channel did you predict PSV beating Liverpool 3-2? GTV. Go check out GTV on YouTube. And Kwanzaa was so bad. I mean, Kwanzaa and Robertson were terrible. Absolutely terrible. So Barcelona 2, Atalanta 2. Barcelona denied the opportunity to go top of the Champions League and finish in first place. Atalanta, man, I mean, how they consistently do this? How? Like, Gasparini is just a magician. Yeah, they've struggled recently in the Serie A, and you could say in the Champions League where, not really good performances. But they lose Lukman. They're not phased. They lose one of their best player right now in Ademola Lukman, and they still go toe-to-toe against Barcelona. And with their man-to-man press and the way they just use the fullbacks, from Zappacosta to obviously Belanova, great team. Honestly, I just love watching. Every neutral should be rooting for this team. They should be, because of the recruitment they do, constantly losing their best players, and yet they still produce performances like this. Gasparini deserves more trophies because brilliant manager. And look, Barcelona, defensively I thought were pretty shocking, but it is Barcelona with the Hansi Flick tactics. They're going to give up chances. The only way Barcelona are going to win this Champions League is outscore every opponent. They got to be more clinical though. But the first goal they scored, did you see how they played off in the back through the midfield and obviously down the wings to Rafinha? Rafinha cuts it back to Lamine Yamal. The first goal for Barcelona, sensational. Now the second goal from Araujo, I mean, the defending from Atalanta from a corner. Why are you letting Araujo wide open? Why? That's just stupidity from their part. But Ederson's goal, que golazo. Que golazo, and then Pasalic gets the equalizer. And yeah, Kermaski, who was a really good goalkeeper for Atalanta. I think him, Vicario, Donnarumma, 3 good goalkeepers for the Azzurri in the future. I think Atalanta still, you don't want to play this team. Even if Ademola Lukman and Maldini, who was having a really good season with Monza and was really good last season with Monza, if Maldini goes to Atalanta, that's dangerous. He would cook with this system. I still think if Atalanta signed a player like Shirky, you give Gasperini, Ryan Shirky, you better be careful. They better be careful. I'm going to do like that one TikTok edit I saw. When Mbappe arrives to Madrid, you better be ready. I won't say that for Shirky, but I'll just say that if Ryan Shirky goes to Atalanta, I wish I could do the one eyebrow, like The Rock, but yeah, it would be very, very dangerous settings for a lot of teams. But I think Barcelona, the only way, and I'll repeat this, I've said this every time, they have scored so many. How many goals did they score in this league phase? Because they scored a lot of goals, by far the most of any. They scored 28 goals in 8 games in the Champions League. 20. The nearest team was Borussia Dortmund that scored 22. Like, Barca's attack is ridiculous. But they're going to need much better defensive displays, especially away from home. And if they went up against a PSG, for example, in the round of 16, man, that's a matchup they don't really want. Because PSG have the speed, they have the technical ability in the mid. I mean, I think that game would be brilliant. Can you imagine a PSG Barcelona in the round of 16? Phenomenal. I would still kind of fancy Barcelona because I think overall as a team, they are good. But maybe these are the signs where you say to yourself, maybe this is why Barcelona can't really win. But when you still got players like Lamine Yamal and Rafinha, Lewandowski, though, he's got to step up. How can Lewandowski have that one opportunity in the second half and he slips? They need an on-fire Lewandowski to win this Champions League. If they don't have Lewandowski in form, Barca can't win this Champions League. They need him to be in form. But overall, what great game. Some of the passages of play from Atalanta and Barcelona, really end-to-end at times. It was a phenomenal game to watch. If you're a neutral, can imagine it was awesome to see. If you're a Barca fan, you're just like, again, frustrating. It's just like we're in the lead, we got the goals, and we throw it away. Kind of similar to the Dortmund game, but they eventually won that game. But they threw a lead twice, if I'm not mistaken, or did Dortmund take the 1-0 lead? No, I think Barca was 1-0 up, 2-1 up, and then threw it away. But yeah, overall, phenomenal game. Phenomenal. This new Champions League format actually made Barca stronger. Now they are confident playing big teams in Europe. In previous seasons, they struggled heavily. If you mentioned UCL, yeah, I think though last season that was sort of a mentality switch for Barca that they made it to the semifinal. Now we'll see what they're made of. Now they got a better manager in Hansi Flick. Yeah, Atalanta, man, you can never disrespect Atalanta. Gasperini is, besides Ancelotti, the best player manager in the world. He seems to be able to get his players to the top of their own game. Josip Ilicic, Luis Muriel, Dufan Zapata, obviously Kulusevski. Diallo didn't really play a lot of games for them. So many players. Like Gasperini, magician. Barca's main weakness is their mentality, to be honest. Possibly, yeah, because they're still a young team, and once they get a little bit flustered, they could throw away the game. I could see that, but I just think maybe with Hansi Flick's experience, that could give them all over the line. Could be. Let's see. Michael, I thought in the round of 16 of the teams from the same countries can't be drawn together. I think that's now gone. I think now it can happen. I think so. I'm pretty sure it's the case now. So Inter win 3-0, and Lautaro scores a hat trick. I still remember what I said at the beginning of this season, people. I said Inter were my pick to win the UCL. You don't believe me? I'll have to get it up. Actually, do I have it up here? I think I have it up here. Give me a second. I think I have it up here. Or I did say that. Yep, I did say that. Here we go. Give me a second, people. I'll just show it right here. Right here. You do not want to play Inter Milan. You do not want to play these guys. Right? I did say this. Champions League predictions. Winners, Inter. Runners-up, Barcelona. It's looking pretty decent right now. Okay, Dark Horse Sporting. PSV? Maybe. Shock exits. Not great. Not the greatest right now. Players to watch, yeah. Not going great at the moment. But you still do not want to play this team, man. There is just something about Inzaghi. They've conceded 1 goal in 8 games. 1 goal. Denzel Dumfries in 2025 might be a footballer. He's playing really well this season. It's just such a contrast. You look at Inter heading into this Milan derby this weekend, full of confidence. Lautaro now cooking. Barella is always going to be a sensational player, defensively solid. And then you look at the other side, Milan, who we'll get to in a second, shambles. So if Inter can keep playing like this, I genuinely think they're going to win the Champions League. Because just defensively, they're the only thing that is disrupting this team from winning the Champions League is that man in the poster, is Lautaro. If they have an informed Lautaro, they are I won't say 100% that they're going to win it, but I think they got a really good chance. There's just something about Inzaghi's football that every player just enjoys it. They get wonderful crosses into the box. They can play down the middle with their midfield. Mkhitaryan was actually looking really good yesterday. Obviously, they destroyed Monaco. Monaco had no prayer in chance of winning that game or even getting a draw. Like the first half, it should have been 4-5-0 with some of the chances that Inter had. Obviously, Monaco went down to 10 men like 12 or 13 minutes into the game because Thuram was pulled back. But yeah, Inter, if they can keep playing like this. Look, some matches this season in the Serie A, I'm like, hey, not looking good. Like the 4-4 draw with Juve, I was like, wait, what's going on with this Inter team? But recently, they're cooking into form. But I think it's the rotation that Inzaghi's been doing. Keeping the team fresh. Obviously, some tired legs out there. But still, you don't want to play this side. Because they can defend well. Great on the counterattacks. With their 2 fullbacks, they're creating down the whiffs. And they just need Lautaro in form. Thuram, he's going to do the work off the ball. Lautaro is that guy. And yes, he sometimes can be a very frustrating player. Hot. And when he's hot, unbelievable. When he's cold, like it's Antarctica, freezing temperatures. You don't want to touch it. But if Lautaro keeps playing like this, look, I don't expect him to score every game, but you still need to be impactful. He's impactful right now. He's got to keep that form going, and Inter can win this. But if they get a couple of injuries, like to a Lautaro or to a Barella or to, let's say, a Benjamin Pavard, yeah, then I would be worrying sides for Inter. They just got to keep this team all together. They do that, Inter got a great chance. I think they can do it this season. I genuinely. What do you think, people? Where would you put Inter right now in the Champions League favorites? Are there for you top 3, top 4, top 5? Are they your favorite to win the Champions League? Let me know your thoughts, people. Yeah. Lautaro, 8 goals in 8 games in 2025. He was horrible in the first half of the season, but we managed to get results because Thuram came up clutch. That's why. Because Thuram came up clutch. No, a defensive team playing a low block and that tries to frustrate them. That is their weakness. It's called the Getafe problem. Yeah, Barcelona. Yeah, definitely. Lautaro is now Inter's all-time goal scorer in the UCL, only behind the legendary Sandro Mazzola, both on 17 goals. That is actually crazy. Lautaro, I think Lautaro is a player that will frustrate a lot of fans, because he shows the moments of just, this guy can't be stopped. Wonderful link-up play, elite finisher both on the left foot, on the right foot. Like, wow, this guy should be getting 2 goals a game. But he just, I don't know what it is. Just a lapse of concentration, or he just doesn't focus on the match, and he goes cold for like 10 games. I mean, you won't see Lautaro on the field for 10 games, but on his day, if any team plays against Inter, they have to be at 100% to beat this Inter side. Yep. And remember, Inter have played Bayer Leverkusen, Arsenal, Manchester City, and only conceded 1 goal. 1 goal. Inter are Italian powerhouses just like Juventus in 2015 to 2018. Oh, so they can match up. Okay, good. All 3 Inter's losses this season are late goals. 2 goals against Milan. Yeah, obviously the Gabbia late winner, and then obviously Juventus, and Leverkusen. Yeah, good point. Leverkusen was like 90th minute with Mukiele. Who was the third loss to? Amrisfer. I'm trying to think. Who did Inter lose the third time? Who was the other team in the Serie A? I can't remember who it was. Also, teams that match in the league phase can also match up again. Oh, okay. Pavard just came back from injury. Top 4 to win the Champions League. Yep. I'm a Barca fan. Do you think if they get Rashford, he could replace Leva? No, man. No. Don't. Barca, if they sign Marcus Rashford, that's not the guy. That is not. Look, talented player, right? But how many opportunities? This idea, it's like the same thing with João Felix. This idea of the player is fantastic. Oh my God, this guy's going to be a wonderful player. But the reality doesn't show up. So, yeah. Inter or Madrid? Michael, how does the seeding work? Yeah, well, I'll talk about it soon. Lautaro being the top scorer makes sense. We never had a long time at striker since the 60s. True, yeah. I mean, Adriano, but he was really injured. Obviously, Diego Milito had about 2 to 3 good seasons. Obviously, 09-10 is probably the greatest striker season ever from Inter. R9 just injured. Never really worked out. Chaotic teams in the early 2000s for Inter. So, that probably makes sense. Okay. Bastoni is one of the best defenders. Yep. Doesn't get any PR. No PR. And 2 L's against Milan. Okay. Supercopa. That's it. Yes. Mike, I'd rather play Celtic than Man City again. We'll talk about that soon. Okay, Arsenal 2-1 win over Girona. Very, Arsenal performance. Get the goals, even though, I mean, if Girona won this game or got a point, I mean, that would have been embarrassing. I'm sorry, it would have been embarrassing. Same thing if Girona got a draw against Liverpool. It would have been embarrassing because this team ain't good. All Danjuma does is just beat 3 guys and can't make the right decision. Every single time. They have no striker, Girona. They don't. They play good football, but they have no attack. But Ethan Nwaneri, this guy's 17 years old. Ethan Nwaneri is a baller. Absolute ball. The fact he's 17 and shows the calmness. I mean, what a que jugador, as they would say in Spanish. And good point. I mean, I don't know what Neto's doing. What is Neto doing for the goal? What is he doing for the goal? But Arsenal, I will say it again. I think they can make a deep run. I can see them making it to the semifinal. If they get to Watkins, maybe that could push them over the line. I just simply can't trust Havertz. I'm sorry, you can't trust Havertz. And that, on the left side, who? Trossard, Martinelli, Sterling. Really? He missed a penalty yesterday. But take nothing away. Ethan Nwaneri, that is a special player. That guy looks like a baller. Because the calmness he showed on his left foot, you don't get that. If you're a good player, maybe you can do it once or twice. Ethan Nwaneri just looked like he'd done that 100 times before, and it's just that sort of IQ that you have where you can be patient and you can put it into the top left corner. Ethan Nwaneri can do it. Yeah, Arsenal kind of rotated yesterday with some of the players, like obviously Neto in goal, who's just terrible. I think that was his might have been his first or second appearance for Arsenal this season, but I can definitely see them making it to a semi-final Arsenal. I think they got the defense. They just need the attack. If the attack is clicking, then Arsenal can do it. They can do it. But I just cannot trust Kai Havertz. I simply can't. Do Arsenal fans trust Kai Havertz? Do you? Do you really want to believe that this guy can all of a sudden just change it? I just don't see it. I don't see it. But if they can get a Watkins, I think people complaining about, oh my God, Watkins is 30 years old. Who gives a shit? If Watkins is a better striker than Havertz and he's good for 2 to 3 seasons, you bank on it. This is the opportunity for Arsenal. They got all the pieces. Obviously, Saka being injured. He comes back, I think, March or April. Yeah, it's frustrating. Gabriel Jesus out with an ACL. So you go get a Watkins. Why? Okay, you put in a bid for Watkins. Why didn't you not do it earlier on in the transfer window? I'm pretty sure then Aston Villa would have sold him. Because then they would have said, we got Duran, we'll keep him. Not really smart planning from Arsenal's perspective, because I think they realized, oh shit, we actually have a really good team here. But we're missing that one element, that one single element, which is a clinical striker. Now they realized. But I still think they got a very good defense with Saliba, Gabriel, and David Raya. That spine is fantastic for Arsenal. They just need the goal scoring. In this game, look, Girona are terrible. I'm sorry. They're just terrible. The cute little Disney story from last season, and they got nuked over the summer transfer window. And right now, what's left? It's just the desert settings. It's looking like Chernobyl out there for Girona. Sadly, man. But yeah, good win for Arsenal, even though I think everybody knew they were going to win it. It's basically a meme at this point, but my Gooners need a striker. They also need players back from injury, especially Saka. Yes. I can't see them getting... I can still see them getting past the quarterfinal. I think so. Man, what a player, man. It does show. Yes, it does show. Arsenal going to choke in the quarters. We need Saka back from injury, 100%. Arsenal would have to make it to a semi for the hope of Saka to come back. Maybe. Havertz has done it before. What? Coming up clutch. Okay. Havertz isn't a bad player, just doesn't excel at anything. Okay, so he's an okay player. Okay. To be honest, I don't think he's a striker. I think he's a number 10. That's Havertz's game. You're looking at Bayer Leverkusen, he's a 10. Why are these teams profiling him as this elite striker? Look at Man City. Man City have an unbelievable striker. That's what Arsenal need. Once Arsenal have that, it's a good team. Relying on Havertz, just an average guy. Arsenal need an experienced guy right now. Yep. Arsenal board are a bunch of... Yeah, I don't know why they took so long to just say, hey, let's go get Watkins. Yep. That sort of reign for Girona is like Dolph Ziggler's WWE title reign. Short-lived but memorable. That's what it is for Girona. So what is he then? We need to sign Watkins or David for Arsenal. Yeah, that would be a good signing. All right, let's continue, people. Real Madrid 3-0. I mean, checking out the highlights of this game, how Real Madrid won 3-0 is because of Thibaut Courtois. Because I was looking at the highlights. I'm like, wait, Stade Brestois have chance here, and chance here, and chance here. I'm like, whoa. What's going on here? Where's Mbappe? Obviously, Vinicius was, I think, suspended for the game. I think he was suspended for the game. I think that was correct. He was suspended for the game. Yeah, he got too many yellow cards. So I just looked at the lineup as well. I'm like, oh my God, Lucas Vazquez was playing right back. No wonder Stade Brestois had all the chances. But, Thibaut Courtois made 2-3 insane saves that only a couple of goalkeepers can make in this world. And he is one of them. Because the one save he made in the second half, just the fingertips, unbelievable player. And look, Madrid, they might get Man City. That game could probably finish 10-10 because both teams can't defend, but they got elite attackers. Like Rodrigo's goal yesterday on his left foot, the way he just took it under control and beat a man, phenomenal. But Stade Brestois gave them a good game. And shout out to Stade Brestois. I thought this game, obviously Madrid were going to win it. To give a good account of themselves is very admirable. Like, it's such an amazing story. First time ever in European football. Not even a professional team in the early 2000s to do this and go up against Real Madrid. I rate it highly, man. I really rate it highly from Stade Brestois' perspective. And they're still in the knockout round, so we get to see them a couple more times. They don't care. Look, Stade Brestois clearly identified that they're not going to win the Champions League. But let's give a good account of ourselves. And they did in this matchup. And yeah, Madrid got some fortunate goals. Let's say that. Fortunate goals and Courtois coming up clutch. But yeah, I think this game is more highlighting that Madrid defensively are not good. They need Asensio at right back or Valverde at right back because you cannot trust Lucas Vazquez. You cannot trust him. I don't think Tchouaméni at center back is going to work if you want to win the Champions League. So Carlo has to realize what his best starting 11 is to find that right balance of defensively looking good, but the attack is now clicking. The attack is looking great. Just that defense is going to be their downfall. But we'll see. But yeah, Stade Brestois, great game from them. I don't think he's a 10 really either. Then what is Kai Havertz? Yeah, they played really good. I thought so too. Defensive low key going to cost us UCL, especially in the fullbacks. I mean, Lucas Vasquez is not a fullback. I'm sorry. Real Madrid have a lethal attack when they're dialed in, but their defense is garbage right now without one of the best keepers in the game. I mean, Thibaut Courtois, man. Nobody praises him. The guy is elite goalkeeper. Same with this team, Atletico. I mean, of course, like, I'll just say this, right? RB Salzburg are so bad. I mean, so bad. Like, some of the goalkeeping, the defense is an abomination. Simeone gets his second goal or third goal of this season. And I think Atleti can go far in this Champions League as well. Can they make it to a quarterfinal? Yeah. Can they make it to a semifinal? Yeah. Winning it? I mean, Griezmann and Julian will have to be Kobe and Shaq from the early 2000s if they want to win this Champions League. But Atleti, I think they've been kind of unfortunate in the last two games against Villarreal and Leganés. They obviously had a crazy game against Bayern Leverkusen where they went down to 10 men. I think Atleti got all the pieces to make it far in this competition. Defensively, they've been really strong in this season. The attack hasn't always been cooking, but when you got players like Griezmann to obviously Julian, then you got Sorloth off the bench, you even got Correa. That's the thing for Simeone. He's going to probably rotate, but he can't rotate too much. The best thing for Atleti is they won all these games. Remember, they struggled the first two matches. I think they lost their opening two games, if memory serves me right. Yeah, they lost to Lille, and then they lost to another team. I can't remember which that other team was. Might have been their first two games. Let me quickly check. Memory serves me right. Yeah, because they had two losses. Who did they lose to early on in the season? Because they lost to Lille, and they lost to... Oh, yeah, they got destroyed by Benfica. Yeah, that was right, 4-0. So, yeah, since then, they gotten all the wins. All of the wins, and they got themselves into a top 8 finish. I think that was really key for Atleti to get into the top 8. Are they a team like Inter where you could say to yourself, yeah, they could win this Champions League? Not quite. I don't know why I can't confidently say that about Atleti. Why would you say that Atleti can't win this Champions League? Is it because they don't have like an elite center back pairing? Obviously, I think Lenormand, to obviously Lenglet, Jimenez, good players. But are they like a Miranda to Godin of the prime Atleti? I still think they can make it to semi-final because they got that guy, they got Simeone as the manager, and I think this now formation tweak that they've had this during this season where Simeone is playing as the right mid basically has been phenomenal. I think Simeone's coaching this season has been one of his best throughout his career. But I think that they really want to focus on getting that La Liga title. Oh, that Madrid. By the way, guys, the Madrid derby is not this weekend. Next weekend. Massive game. Massive game. Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why you can't trust them. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. I think even RB Salzburg fans are like, how the heck are we in the Club World Cup? How are we in the Club World Cup? How? 125 years of history, people. 125 years of elite players playing for this kit. But this Milan team are a disgrace. Look, shout out to Dinamo. If they didn't lose 9-2 to Bayern Munich, they would probably be in the knockout rounds. Because Dinamo, since that loss, have actually been playing pretty well. Pretty good football. But you lose 9-2. I'm sorry. You cannot lose 9-2. Lose 5-2. Lose 5-2. You lost 9-2 and you suffer from it because they have a -7 goal difference. They would have probably leapfrogged Club Brugge and gotten that 24 spot. But since they lost 9-2, they lose the game. They've had a very chaotic season. Dinamo, Cannavaro gets his first win as a manager with Dinamo. I think it was his first win. Might have been his second win. So good for Cannavaro. Good for Dinamo. They really gave themselves a good account throughout this Champions League season. Very impressed by Piazza to obviously Baturina, a quality player. But I think this game is more on Milan. Like, this team have the talent, but zero, and I mean zero leadership within this team. Zero leadership. Because what on earth, like, who on this team can you say is a captain material? You can't even say Calabria because Conceição is fighting with him. Theo Hernandez is not a leader. Gabia, not really. Rafael Leao, no. You see Yunus Musa picking up two stupid yellow cards. I mean, stupid yellow cards to go down to 10 men. And Dinamo, they controlled the game. Yeah, they were being a bit more defensive in the second half, but they really took the game to Magnan. Piazza's goal was phenomenal. The touch, the finish, to get it past Magnan. You thought Leao got a penalty, but he elbowed the player. Leao and Pulisic, no shows in this game. Yeah, Pulisic got the goal. They did nothing this game. Dinamo really nullified Leao completely. And that's just the thing with this Milan side. The mentality switch. They cannot switch it on for every game. Same thing as Juventus. Both teams talented. Super talented teams. Mentality. Both teams don't have it within them. And I think this is a horrendous loss. I'm sorry. Look, I know Dinamo are a decent team. They've always had these, good results at home. But this is Milan. But I'm sorry. Maybe this is not Milan anymore. This is like, they're not even AC anymore. They're LC. LC Milan. Because it's just so frustrating because I see some good players. Now, somebody said that Morata might be leaving. Now, let me quickly check that. Because Alvaro Morata is even worse. Okay, exclusive. Galatasaray are in advanced talks to sign Alvaro Morata. All parties ready to get sealed. Look, Conceição knows. Conceição knows. This guy's... Get him out of here. Osimhen, you're better than Morata. So, I don't know what Milan are going to do. Okafor should be gone. Morata should be gone. Jovic should be gone. Abraham should be gone. And they should go get a quality striker with that money. Obviously, I think Tammy's on loan. I think they have an option to buy for him. I'm not too sure about that, but Conceição has a lot of work. I think Conceição is now realizing, shit, these guys are not tuned in. Yeah, can guarantee you this, people. Watch this. Milan will lose this game. They'll have that chaotic game against Parma over the weekend where they have that ridiculous comeback, but then somehow beat Inter. Watch. You'll see it. Watch Leao turn into Ballon d'Or level. Watch Pulisic turn into Captain America. Watch it. Because this team, they'll play up to their competition and they'll play down to their competition. They cannot focus every single game. Conceição, I don't know what he did after the game. Because if he's fighting with Calabria at the end of the Parma game, what do you think he did after this game? Oh, he probably took down all of the walls and all of the water bottles and just started fighting with all the players because that's the sort of manager Conceição is. He expects you to be locked in for every game. If you're not, you're going to face the wrath. But yeah, Dinamo, fantastic win. I mean, to get now this victory alongside, beating Slovan Bratislava away. Dinamo have been a good team this season, but they've been chaotic. Three different managers. And I kind of feel bad because you just can't lose 9-2 though. You can't lose 9-2, and ultimately that was their downfall, and that's why Dinamo did not qualify to the knockout rounds. But hey, they gave a good account of themselves throughout this Champions League. Crazy what a manager can do to a team. Yep. Dinamo Kida Brate. Let me try and pronounce this. Nirovo Ovizhne. Wow, we got all Croatian here. Bitsobolje sada Uzimamo. I don't know what that says. Zargrese sa nas prenoze. Hey, maybe I'm Croatian at the end of the day, people. Jovic still exists. Sadly, he does. Milan were basically already through, so they didn't really need to switch on. Dinamo needed to score more and play for their lives. They couldn't do it. The game was a bad statement on both. Yeah, I mean, you say that, Trevor. But Milan know if they win this game, they're in the top 8. Don't you want that? Doesn't the Milan board want more money? Because clearly they can't pay more money for Jimenez. I don't think they're going to go for Jimenez anymore because he's injured. So it's just such rotten apples with Milan. The board is terrible. You look at some of these players, you're like, oh my God, they need a reset. Everything's just a mess. And yeah, Dinamo, I think they really should have taken the game more to Milan in the second half. But maybe they just were a little bit like, okay, yeah, we understand Milan are down to 10 men. They still got the quality. But I think Dinamo still gave a good account of themselves throughout this match. And then the last two games, I didn't watch the highlights of these games. Sturm Graz, they own Red Bull. They beat RB Leipzig. They beat RB Leipzig, and they're owning RB Salzburg in the Austrian Bundesliga. Sturm Graz are now the rightful owners of Red Bull Company. Okay, good. And RB Leipzig are just, how they are so bad. So bad is more indictment on Sporting losing to these guys. They have one win. One win for RB Leipzig throughout this season in the Champions League. Terrible. But yeah, shout out to Sturm Graz. Good win. This young kid that they got who scored the goal, the Bosnian, looks like a decent player. And Crvena Zvezda, they win and beat Young Boys. And Young Boys and Slovan Bratislava are the only two teams who picked up a grand total of 0 points. Sad for them. And good performance by Crvena Zvezda. If they beat PSV, Crvena Zvezda would have been in a very good situation there. But overall, look, yeah, Xavi Simons' loan made permanent. He's still going to go for like 100 million. So here is the table then, people. The final table. I want to know, what is your biggest shock from the league phase? What is your biggest shock? I think so. Even I kind of been like throughout the last couple of years, or at least doing YouTube. I've now been doing YouTube for almost 3 years now. Yeah, 3 years. I've always sort of been like, Ligue 1, you got the potential. You got very talented players. But you don't perform in Europe. Like, they don't perform in... Look at Nice. Nice are bottom 2 or bottom 3 in the Europa League. But heck, in the Champions League, they've been competitive. I mean, like, what Lille have been doing, Stade Brestois to Monaco, and obviously PSG bouncing back. Ligue 1, for me, were the biggest winners in this league phase. So everybody's saying Lille in top 8, Leipzig getting 3 points. Biggest shock are Man City, Real Madrid, honestly. Lille making the top 8. Yeah, I would say that Lille making the top 8 for me is the biggest shock. I'm shocked by that. I think Man City 22nd is actually unacceptable. They did not have a hard schedule. I'm sorry, they didn't have a hard schedule. Yeah, you had Inter at home, you had PSG away. Man City, 22nd? Come on. They did not have a schedule like PSG. They didn't have a schedule like Liverpool. And yet you finished 22nd? Okay, yeah, you get to the knockout round. Well, I'll show you next with the next graphic. At what cost? At what cost? But for me, the two biggest shocks are RB Leipzig picking up 3 points. 3 points in this entire thing. And Lille finishing in the top 8. Those, for me, are the two biggest shocks. I kind of fancied Celtic to make it to the top 24. I did fancy I think I had Club Brugge actually 30th, if I'm not mistaken. I think I had them 30th. So maybe you could add in Club Brugge there. But yeah, Lille and RB Leipzig, for me, the biggest shocks. Biggest winners, if you want to go by leagues, people, I think the biggest winners are Ligue 1. Ligue 1 cooked. All 4 teams in the top 18, cooking. And you could throw in the Premier League, because the Premier League had 3 teams in the top 8. So Premier League, I think Premier League and Ligue 1, the big winners. Biggest losers has to be Bundesliga. Only 1 team in the top 8. Bayern and Dortmund not having the toughest of schedules, being in the 10th and 12th position. And Stuttgart out, RB Leipzig out. Biggest loser was definitely Bundesliga. And maybe you could throw in maybe Serie A. Because Atalanta, knife. Maybe I'm a bit harsh there. Okay. I think by far the biggest loser is the Bundesliga. So yeah, give me your thoughts, people. Who are your winners and losers of the Champions League phase? Leo making top 8. Oh yeah, Man City didn't have that hard schedule. No, they did not. Leo are dark horse. I think most of the teams we expected to finish in the top 8 didn't. I think most of the big clubs didn't quite know how to handle this league phase, and they got punished for it. Possibly, yeah, you could say that. And maybe you could say that for Man City. Maybe you could say that for Juventus. I'm scared that big teams will start not taking this playoff seriously once they have confirmed playoff spot, since only 2 teams make it to the round of 16. Wait, I'm scared that big teams will start not taking this playoff seriously. Surely they have to. Now this is basically like an extended version of the round of 16. So they got to start taking this serious. Like, especially Man City, especially Juventus, especially PSG. Now it's where, okay, league phase, cupcake. You're just getting a little taste of it. Now the steak is here. You better be ready to eat it. Otherwise, it's gone in 2 seconds. Man City are an aging team. They need injection of new players. Well, that's why they signed the likes of Vitor Royce to Husanov to Marmouche. They know they needed some new blood. Club Brugge also had a hard schedule with Sporting, Sturm Graz, Celtic as worst opponents. Beside that, Juve, Milan, Villa, City, Dortmund. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, they're done. They're down bad. Okay, so hopefully we can all see that. Maybe that's better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Can we all see that? Yeah, we can see it. We're good. Okay. So for Liverpool and Barcelona, they could face either Monaco, Stade Brestois, PSG, or Benfica. So PSG matchup in the knockout round. That will be fascinating. I'm intrigued to see what happens there. Are Benfica better than Monaco? I think Benfica don't really want to play Stade Brestois or Monaco. I think that would be a tough matchup for Benfica. Like, Benfica are a weird team because they show up in some games and they'll lay a goose egg. Like the Bologna game, like the Feyenoord game, Benfica were not good. So, not the easiest opponents for Benfica. I expect PSG to beat one of Monaco and Stade Brestois. And then PSG could face either Liverpool or Barca. I can't lie, man. As a Liverpool fan, I don't really want to play this PSG team. I don't. Because I think PSG are now, they're kicking into gear. They were struggling a little bit in the Champions League early parts, but now they've signed Kvara. I don't think they're a team you want to play. I really don't. But a PSG Barca matchup, oh my, I know it happened last season, but I kind of want to see it again. I just want to see Dembele score again and then just celebrate like madness against Barcelona. So, who do you think? Do we think then if PSG and Benfica are going to advance? I think we all agree. And yeah, PSG are definitely the team you want to avoid. If you're Barca and Liverpool, wanted to avoid them. Then the 23-24, 9 and 10 will face Lille or Aston Villa. So Sporting against Dortmund. You know what? A Dortmund Club Brugge. Obviously, they played against each other and Dortmund won 3-0. I think it would be a good matchup. Sporting Atalanta, they played last year. And obviously, that was under Amorim. Would be a good matchup. So a lot of the teams are actually familiar with each other. If you're Aston Villa and Lille, you want to avoid all cost Atalanta. You want to avoid them at all costs. But if you actually look at the path for Liverpool and why am I blanking on it? And Barcelona, it's actually pretty favorable to get to the semifinal. I think if you're Liverpool and Barca, you look at that the route to the final. You're like, we can do this. We can seriously do this because you're going to play Aston Villa or Lille. And if you're Aston Villa and Lille, you have a great chance of making it to the quarterfinal. Really good chance. I think if you're Atalanta, you can make it to the quarterfinal. So it's very interesting how this is all working out. But then we have Celtic or Man City against Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. So we're going to get Man City against one of Real Madrid and Bayern. Oh boy. Does Real Madrid want to play Man City again? That would be for the third straight season or fourth? Third season. No, yeah, third season would be. And then Man City against Bayern. Oh man. Pep against company. Now, if you're Atleti or Bayer Leverkusen, you're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So we had this good campaign in the league phase, and we're going to play one of Man City. We're going to get some fire matchups in the round of 16. We could see a Madrid derby. We could see Bayer Leverkusen against Bayern Munich as well. Damn. That would be sensational. Then people would be like, oh my God, this league phase is the best thing since sliced bread. Sliced bread. Come on. So, I cannot wait though for the draw because tomorrow we could see Man City against Madrid or Bayern. Can you imagine if we get Man City against Real Madrid already in the knockout stages? Nobody would have most people would have been saying, oh, Madrid against Man City, maybe semifinal, final. To see that in the knockout round was not feasible. Not feasible whatsoever. I think, though, Man City want to get Bayern. I think so. Yeah, Madrid have their issues, but I think Madrid's attack is superior to Bayern's. Where Bayern, you could argue, have a little bit better defense, a little bit, but it's not like phenomenal like, let's say, a Liverpool or an Atleti. So, yeah, it could be amazing. And then Inter or Arsenal could be facing one of Juve, Feyenoord, PSV, or Milan. So we could get, in the knockout rounds, we could get Juventus versus Milan and PSV against Feyenoord. Oh, that would cook. That would cook. And then we could see a Milan derby in the round of 16, and we could maybe see Juventus against Arsenal or Feyenoord against Arsenal or PSV against Arsenal. Well, we'll find out tomorrow how this will all happen, people. We will find out tomorrow how it will all happen as there will be the draw. I'll be giving my reaction tomorrow for the knockout round draw of the Champions League. Should be exciting to see what happens. Look, was this league phase successful? What would be a rating for you people for this league phase? I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. The only way it would have been a 9 out of 10 if Man City and let's say PSG got knocked out. If that happened, it would have been 9 out of 10. I think a 7.5 is good. I think we saw some drama, but we also saw the big teams eventually make it into top 8. No real surprises. I think everybody wants to have this, group stages were amazing. Did we not see also in the group stages like teams like a Club Brugge, like a Porto, like a Shakhtar Donetsk, Zenit back in the day, always make it to the quarterfinals, always make it to the round of 16 of the Champions League? We always saw it. So there's always going to be a shock in the Champions League. But we got some drama, and the final match day was ludicrous because you saw so many goals just happening here, there. You're like, where do I even watch? What do I even contemplate? What do I make of this table? But I think some people are just like hesitant on change. Even I'm hesitant. Even I was like, you know what? I like this idea, but just 36 teams is ludicrous to me. But heck, it worked out perfectly, and it was very, very enjoyable. And tomorrow we will get the draw. And of course, tomorrow I'll be dropping my live reaction to the draw of the knockout round of the Champions League. But everybody, remember to hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here for a lot more Champions League content. I'll be dropping a lot of international football content in the upcoming weeks and maybe a transfer video, and we'll see what happens. Remember to follow me on all the socials. You can find those links in the description down below. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Join the Discord for more Champions League talk. And I will see you all later. Actually, no, I'll see you all tomorrow on the video. Remember to hit the notification bell so you guys know I'm going live. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe in this crazy world. Until next time, adios.